Once upon a time, there was a shabby house in the corner of the village. A poor widow woman and her 3 children lived there. Maya's husband had died in an accident 3 years ago. And then a poor and uneducated woman has to feed her 3 small children. After the death of her husband, her relatives have also turned their backs on her. She has no one from whom she can ask for help. Every day was a struggle, washing and mending clothes, and working at the bakery. Kneading dough made her back ache, but she always worked tirelessly to feed her 3 children. Their little hut, hidden in a forgotten corner, which used to echo with the sounds of laughter and the warmth of love, was now filled with despair and sadness. Children's empty stomachs, lack of money, broken furniture, and the roof remain a constant matter of worry for Maya. But it is said that God is always with those who have no one to help them. Across the narrow lane lived a widower named Mr. Habib, who had no children of his own and lived alone. A cobbler makes and repairs shoes and tries to earn a living by them. His workshop is filled with the smell of leather, and the sound of hammering always comes from his shop. He was a good friend of her husband and always sees Maya as his sister. He had seen Maya's struggle after her husband's death and how she works hard to feed her children. He often tries to help her by repairing her torn shoes or giving some candy or biscuits to her children or playing with them. He feels pity for the woman and her childs who had to suffer so much and face the cruel reality of the world. Maya was very grateful to Habib for taking care of her children and helping them in their difficult time. Maya tries to overcome her problems with the help of her strength and by seeing the face of her children. But once the winter season started, she started getting less and less work. The owner of the bakery shop, where she worked, went to visit his married daughter and closed his shop. The laundry work and other work also reduced. Work became scarce, and food also became scarce. Maya's worries had increased even more in the harsh winter. Whenever it rained, raindrops would keep dripping from the broken roof of her small hut. Her 3 children were hidden under a thin blanket with pale faces. Their thin clothes offered them little protection from the cold, and their stomachs rumbled louder than anything else. Maya was sitting, bent over the cold stove, looking worriedly at the empty stove, thinking that she had neither money nor work. The roof of the hut is also leaking, and the children's also need clothes. She started crying and said, "How will she handle all this?" Suddenly, a light tap on the door startled her. It was Mr. Habib, the cobbler, from across the road, with the lines of worries on his face. "Maya, my dear," he said, his voice husky but kind. "I saw the light twinkling. Is everything okay?" Maya hesitated, then started smiling forcefully. "It's just a little wind, Mr. Habib. No worries." Mr. Habib understood the situation from his years of experience. And when he went inside, his eyes fell on the trembling children. "Come now, Maya," he said softly, "we both know that the wind doesn't mend clothes or fill hungry bellies. Tell me, what's bothering you?" There were tears in Maya's eyes. She poured out her heart, talking about the leaky roof, the rising bills, the lack of work. Her voice choked when she confessed that they had not had proper food for several days. Mr. Habib listened patiently, his eyes filled with understanding. "Life throws rocks at us all, Maya," he said, his voice firm but soothing. "But we must face them with courage. You have a strong heart, and you are not alone." He put his hand in his pocket and took out a small bag. "It's not much, but it will buy some food for your children's." Maya gasped, tears streaming down her face. "Mr. Habib, you can't do this. I can't accept this." He pressed the bag in her hand. "Consider it a debt, dear. When you stand on your feet, you can return it to me. Remember, Maya, we are friends, and we must help each other." Maya looked at the bag, then at the cobbler's kind eyes. A wave of gratitude washed over her. "Thank you, Mr. Habib," she whispered, her voice full of emotion. "You are a true friend." Mr. Habib smiled. "We all need a friend sometimes, Maya. Now, let me see the clothes you're fixing. Maybe I can help you complete them faster, and you can earn some extra coins." As Mr. Habib sat beside them, making repairs and sharing stories, the storm outside now seemed to be losing its power. The warmth of his kindness filled the room, spreading a ray of hope in the darkness. Maya knew that the rain may continue, but the sun will come out again, and she will not face it alone, because she had her children's and one good friend. To repay Habib, Maya tries to find a job where she can get a good salary and support her child's. But in this harsh winter, she could not find any job or work. And an exhausted Maya pushed open the creaking hut door and returned home empty-handed. Inside the hut, her 3 children were playing with Mr. Habib. After seeing her children's laughing faces, a feeling of relief spread over her face, due to which the burden of the day disappeared for a moment. Seeing Maya coming home, Mr. Habib welcomed her and said, "These little kids have a lot of energy, don't they? So how's work going, Maya?" he asked in a low voice. Maya hesitated, a familiar pang of shame rising in her chest. "It's hard," she admitted, "but we're doing it." Mr. Habib looked around her house, noticing empty fridge and a light breakfast cooking on the stove. He knew Maya did not get a job and was constantly worried about putting food on the table and a roof over her child's head. Suddenly a spark lit up in Mr. Habib's eyes. "Have you heard about the new Japanese shop opening across the street?" Maya's eyebrows narrowed. "Haru's Sushi." "Yeah, but they'll never hire someone like me." Mr. Habib laughed, his wrinkles deepening. "Don't underestimate yourself, Maya. You're hardworking, kind, and have the ability to make everyone feel welcome. That's more valuable than any fancy experience." He shared a story about his wife, who started as a dishwasher in a restaurant and worked her way up to managing the entire kitchen. "Sometimes," he said, "you just need a chance." Maya was encouraged by Habib's words. Perhaps Mr. Habib was right. Taking a deep breath, she thanked him and promised to think about it. That night, after her children go to sleep, Maya can't stop thinking about the sushi shop. The image of the promise of a new beginning flickered in her mind. The next morning, with Mr. Habib's encouraging words ringing in her ears, she straightened the coat she was wearing and went to Haru's Sushi. She went to the market and started looking for a Japanese shop. The aroma of fresh and delicious food in the crowded market kept teasing Maya's empty stomach. After her husband's death, hunger remained her constant friend. But disappointment was a luxury she could not afford, especially when she had 3 young children dependent on her. Forgetting about her hunger, Maya tried to find Haru's sushi shop. Maya's eyes lit up with hope when she saw a new sign, "Haru's Sushi, now open." From the window, she saw the new counter and the delicious rolls kept in the counter. She saw a hand-painted sign hanging on the door that read, "Help Wanted." After seeing that sign, she took a deep breath and opened the door of the shop and went inside the shop. A young man with kind eyes welcomed him. "Welcome," he said with smile on his face, with bow, slightly. "I am the owner of this shop. How can I help you?" Maya stuttered and said, I'm Maya. I saw that a board of wanted help and I wanted to apply for this job. I don't have any experience with Japanese food, but I'm hardworking and a quick learner." Maya explained her situation in a trembling voice. Haru listened patiently and said, softening his voice, "We need someone who will take care, customer of Haru's sushi. Someone who can make our customers feel at home," and I saw the sparkle in your eyes and kindness in your word. I think you can do it. Haru's smile widened. Can you start over tomorrow? Maya was relieved. Yes. Thank you, Hiro-san. Haru smiled. You know, experience can be taught, but a good heart is priceless. And you have a good heart, Mrs. Maya. Maya smiled in response and started her job at Haru's Sushi the next day. That day, Maya didn't just start work. She set out on the journey. She learned the art of folding napkins, welcomed customers with genuine hearts, and even helped prepare simple ingredients. Despite the difficult work, Maya's heart was always in the Haru's Sushi, and more to say in the kitchen. She amazingly chopped the vegetables. She can whip up the perfect dashi broth, turn tofu into silky clouds, and make gyoza that melt in your mouth with one glance at the ingredients. And one rainy afternoon, a group of food bloggers, known for their critical reviews, come to Haru's Sushi. The head cook, who was excited by their visit, was accidentally injured. The accident created chaos in the kitchen, and the employees became panicked. Here Maya calmly reached the owner, Mr. Haru. "Please, let me cook," she said in a firm voice. "I know I can't cook like the head chef, but I watch him cook and help him with the cooking. I know what ingredients he uses or how he prepares his food. Please give me a chance, I will not let you down." The head chef also agreed and said, "Yes, Maya has good taste and good knowledge of food. She helps me in the kitchen for the last 6 months. I think she can do it. So please give her a chance." Mr. Haru was hesitant, but agreed with the head chef. With approval, Maya burst into the kitchen, her movements quick and precise. She prepared dish with full of delicate kombu and fragrant mushrooms. She hand-rolled the delicate gyoza, each filled with a delicious mixture of pork, ginger, and shallots. The aroma that came out was such that it cannot be described in words. Food critics are sitting at their tables, taking their first mouthful of ramen and savoring the broth. The delicious gyoza gave them a rich taste of Japanese food. With each mouthful, their frown softened, replaced by a genuine smile. The food blogger was impressed by her food and wrote a nice and interesting blog about the shop. Sir Haru was very pleased with their review and called Maya into his office. "Maya," he began, his voice full of praise. I must say, you outdid yourself yesterday. Those critics, they were speechless. Maya smiled shyly while wiping her hands on the towel. It was nothing, Mr. Haru. Just some simple dishes, made with love, and with the help of the head chef. It's not just your cooking skills, he continued, his voice turning serious. You have a great manner with customers, a warmth that makes them feel welcome. You are a kind person, Maya. Hesitantly, he cleared his throat. That's why I wanted to talk to you about your position here. As you know, you currently work as a part-time dishwasher. But I believe you deserve much more than that. Maya's breathing stopped. Could be possible. Mr. Haru announced, his eyes filled with sincerity. I would like to offer you the position of full-time junior chef. With a salary that reflects your talent and dedication. There were tears in Maya's eyes. It was more than she could have imagined. A secure future for her children's, the chance to share her passion with the world, and the recognition she truly deserved. Mr. Haru, she sobbed, her voice choked with emotion. I don't know what to say. This is more than I deserve. You deserve it, Maya, he insisted, placing a hand on her shoulder. You have breathed new life into this shop, and I have no doubt that you will continue to amaze us all. As they discussed the details of her new position, Maya's heart leapt with joy. The future, once uncertain, now lies before it, full of delicious possibilities. She can't wait to tell the good news to her children's and Mr. Habib, who believed in her and encouraged her. That afternoon, Maya was sitting at the kitchen table in her home, surrounded by her 3 wide-eyed children and their beloved neighbor, Mr. Habib. With an upbeat atmosphere, Maya announced her news. Maya said in a voice trembling with joy, Mr. Habib, I have become the new junior chef. The children exhaled collectively, their eyes shining with pride. Mom, you're a chef. The youngest said, jumping in his seat. Maya laughed, her heart filled with warmth. Not just any chef, baby, she said, winking. I'm Chef Maya, the famous chef of Haru's Sushi. Mr. Habib smiled proudly and said, I know you can do it, Maya. A wave of heat ran through the room. Habib gently patted Maya's shoulder. Maya, he said. You and your children's deserve all the happiness. You remind us that mothers are the real heroes. They can do anything for their children's. Maya, you get successful in life with hard work and love for your children's. All the struggle and difficulty you face will now end. Through your hard work, you can provide a better life to your children's and give them good food and education. You are a real warrior, Maya.